All right, here we go. First question for the evening is the impact of positivity on team performance. Impact of positivity on team performance. First of all, positivity in scenarios brings about the vision inside your own head. So by being positive and saying it truth to power, saying positive things, it's giving the reinforcement in yourself. And so we know that casting a vision in your brain is just as powerful as going and doing a thing as far as your brain is concerned. And so saying positive things is helping convince you of that thing and manifesting and bringing those things out into the world. So by understanding your own vision and being positive in the way that you want things to be, that will help you believe yourself, which will then resonate with your team, seeing as the point of being positive is to lay down a path forward. The the point of staying positive would be to look at what is ahead and seeing that which is ahead in a positive light. The team then can see the clarity of what that path forward looks like. They see that it's being cast in a positive light. They see that you believe it. And all of a sudden, the team wants to believe it and they want to be part of the positive thing. One of the things they taught us teaching, one of the things that they teach teachers, right? Teachers are taught, is that you, to the entire group in a classroom, an entire classroom setting, you reward the things that you want to see more of. So when in a group setting, you have set an expectation. You find the student or students who are demonstrating your expectation, and you, to the entire group, celebrate that person, that student. And that shows to everyone else, here's the expectation, here's how they're doing it, here's how they're meeting the expectation I set. Individually, one-on-one is where you do the helpful constructive criticism, where you give the feedback, where you do the differentiated learning. And so again, to team performance, having a positive outlook, rewarding positive behavior that meets the expectation or the goal maybe the team has, that will only increase performance. Yeah. All right. Question 2. The role of micro interactions in design. The role of micro interactions in design. This one's an interesting question. So the role of, when we speak to people, there are little nuances, and they say that the body language, it speaks more than the words, and people watch and listen to and react to and internalize our body language in the way we made them feel more than the words we actually say. The same is true then for computers. As far as a human computer interaction design would be concerned, those micro interactions bring depth to design. They bring a sense of intention. The fact that someone has taken the time to create a micro interaction, taking the time to, yeah, I would just leave it at even create. There's some intention there. And so depth and intention, and then whatever, not status, it's like character. Micro interactions, whether they're digital uh, or human, anatomical, no, whether they're digital or organic, micro interactions, as far as design goes, the interactions we have with other humans, it does speak to character. It creates a character. And so whether that interaction is coming from a brand, from a person, from a piece of technology, it speaks to the character of that interaction and the person on the other side of it. Uh, so yeah, those three pieces. All right, question 3. Third question here. How can businesses effectively handle product recalls and quality issues? How can businesses effectively handle? All right, so a couple of things here. Product recalls and quality issues. Let's just get out of the way an entire swath of possible outcomes. Legality, follow the law. So by following the law, doing your best to understand the law, following the law, and communicating how you do your best and how you understand the law, communicating those two pieces, that should always be happening. So effectively handling recalls and quality issues would start by the business practices you already have in place. That's the best way to effectively handle a product recall. Communicate your current way you're already doing things. When an issue does occur, identify the issue, name it that it's an issue, and look into the source. The outcome was the issue. So the recall itself, some lower quality than the standard you've already created, that was the outcome. Get back to the source that brought that about. The structure of the organization, the standards you set, the process steps you take, the stage gates in between each of those steps. Identifying that source and showing off and communicating that source within, again, those existing practices, and then effectively just handling whomever it affected. I mean, of course, if it's literally like the health of people, get people healthy, stop hurting people. If in the case that it's products, make people whole on the products. How would you like to be treated? Make people whole on what it is that they expected and the market outcome you've said people will derive from receiving your product or receiving your service. They should feel whole in receiving that outcome. Yeah. Probably talk to them, ask them questions. At the end of the day, this process is just outlined of having standard practices and identifying sources. This doesn't have to only happen when an issue arises from a customer. Those can be internal practices that you're finding that quality assurance is looking out for. You know, those are sorts of the things that you get into when there's enough bureaucracy, enough layers, enough of an organization that you can be looking out for those issues and trying to find opportunities to do better. An opportunity to do better. Yeah. maybe a position is the do better person. The DBP. Anyway, that's how I'd handle that's how I'd say you handle business, how a business would handle product recalls and quality issues. How can businesses create a sense of urgency in their marketing? This is a fun question. So urgency in their marketing. So first of all, marketing. What is important? A marketing strategy only speaks to a product or service and how you want to show up for your ICPs and what the buyer persona roadmap even looks like. So start there. From those definitions, urgency can mean speed. It can mean clarity. It can mean access to money or access to capital. So whether that is in the form of VC or debt financing or someone just has it in the bank, urgency could mean speed as far as timing and faster. It could mean access, and it could mean was the third thing that it could mean? Better position is defining what urgency means in this case for the business use case. Creating a sense of urgency for marketing on the other end, on the output, would be to track your buyer persona on their journey. So whether that be, well, track them on their journey, which is required, which requires asking questions, doing ethnography, and understanding the steps in a journey and an experience, identifying, exposing what it is people are doing, not ignoring elements, inquiring and asking questions deeply. And really, once there's a sense of understanding on the entire journey of a potential buyer, then when you've identified that a buyer is at step 2, talk about step 4, 5, and 6. When a buyer is at step 5 of 10, talk about 8, 9, and 10. The urgency really is in the opportunity. And so the hope is that instead of apathy on the buyer's end, there's a growth mindset of opportunities ahead of them. I will say an apathetic person in business will not have a sense of urgency. It will be quite obvious that they are apathetic. They're happy with the status quo, and you're not mad about that. The marketing and subsequent scoring will really enable you to dequalify them early and really focus your time on people who have a growth mindset, who want to move forward and grow their business, and just learning about the ways that they want to do that. So it really begins with understanding the journey. And from there, you can create urgency on getting there, again, based on the metrics they want to use, whether they want to get there faster, they want to do more of it, or they want access. All right, last question. How do businesses tailor service solutions for diverse target segments? How do businesses tailor service solutions for diverse target segments? This is a fun one. So I love the phrasing here of diverse target segments. First of all, again, understanding, doing ethnography, building out a journey, and identifying pain points, opportunities, outcomes, deliverables. Those are all opportunities along the journey for creating segmentation among targets. And so whatever then those segments are that you've made of your target, tailoring service solutions to each target could go one of two ways, right? On one end of the spectrum, it is we're going to create individual, high touch service solutions for every target segment we come across. And or then the other end of the spectrum being we're going to create a framework that speaks to every target segment, and on our end is hyper simplified, and it just scales against whatever target segment we're going after. And so in that continuum, the question becomes, where do you want the problem, and where do you want the simplicity, and where do you want the complexity in your business? This might be a question of your team, your resources, yourself, and your skill set. And so do you and your business want the simplicity on your end of quoting? Do you want the simplicity on their end of receiving the services and understanding your services? Do you want the complexity in one of those two spots? Do you need the complexity on their end of understanding, because on your end, it's important to you that you have simplicity? You're going to let them do the figuring out. And you're going to probably use it then as a filtering method to score against those target segments. If they don't get it, all right, they're disqualified. So tailoring your service solutions, once you understand your target segments, becomes a question of the simplicity and complexity of your business. And that answer will only come out of you understanding your own strengths and weaknesses, the pros and cons of the services you offer, the strengths and weaknesses of your people, and as a business, how are you moving forward with your own goals? Because these goals, again, can speak into you wanting to have more people in your organization. You're wanting to get more deals faster. You're wanting to grow revenue. You're wanting to get more offices. So those goals are just going to weigh in on all of the elements that are just true about you as humans and the target as humans and businesses, plus where it is you think you're going. I would love to know how you would tailor your service solutions to a diverse target segment. That's a fun question.